What is up? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, afternoon, depending on where you're at. We're doing the show a little bit later because I'm hanging out with my new and good friend, Dustin Sheppard, over at American Pacific Mortgage. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you what. Him and I were at NBA this last week, and it was incredible to see people in person. And we're actually going to be talking about another upcoming event. Ladies and gentlemen, not just an event, a symposium, an opportunity to surround yourself with some of the best of the best, some of the best minds, some of the forward thinkers of our industry. Dustin's one of them. American Pacific Mortgage is one of them. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what, you're not going to want to miss the NEXT Symposium, November 3rd and 4th. We're going to be getting into it. We're going to be getting into some of the speakers. And honestly, Dustin and I, we're just going to shred. We're going to have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? It is time to shred. What is up? Good day, ladies and gentlemen. For all those of you who are just coming back from NBA, we know you're getting back into the swing of things. Dustin and I were just talking about that hey, It was an incredible time for me. And I mean, there's so many things that we could probably talk about in that. One thing that I was excited, Dustin, in this, I was excited to see people in person. That was fun, getting back, seeing people in person, which the NEXT Symposium is in person. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But what was your general feel? It was good to see people in person. And actually, you and I kind of talked about, it's almost like the NBA is starting to kind of come on. Me and you are not a suit and tie guys. They're kind of coming off that.
No soul chokers, right? I'm allergic to soul chokers.
True that.
No, there's a couple things. I mean, the energy was great at the NBA. Definitely some pent up demand for some human interaction. You can tell that. I think they had Pitbull and One Direction, rocking there, and people were digging that. But there was an incredible kind of eye opening for me. There's a real youth movement going on at all levels of this industry right now. And that was really cool to see and kind of take in. It's even 5 years ago, that was not the case. Now I'm the seasoned guy with the salt and pepper,
You look good with it too, man. I was telling you, I'm like, I'm looking jealous. Mine's kind of like a reddish and brown, but that salt and pepper look, it's just like, I don't know, but it's funny. The women dig it, man. I'm digging it myself. So, but hey, I'm excited to talk about American Pacific Mortgage is putting on their annual NEXT Symposium, November 3rd and 4th. So coming up just a few weeks away. And that's why we wanted to get this out to everybody. For those who are interested, there's time to still plan a trip. Plus, it's going to be in sunny Arizona. Like, it's going to be warm down there still. For me, I'm excited to get out of the cold. Dude, I came back from San Diego, came up to my house last night. It was like 28 degrees. And I'm like, I'm going to Arizona. I'm out of here. So I'm excited for it. Arizona. Tell me about this. Why are you excited for NEXT? Why are you excited for this symposium? Why American Pacific Mortgage does an incredible job with it, but tell us why you're excited about it.
Well, our symposiums, I've been attending them for years, right? I went as a loan officer, a branch manager, and now in this role. And I can tell you, the event itself is about connecting with people. It was a lot like what we felt down at the NBA, but this is a family too. These are people that we have been working with and attending events for years. We've seen people grow and succeed as in their branch manager roles or as loan officers come in brand new to the business. And now they're top producers, recognized nationwide. And it is such a collaborative environment. It's not just about the sales rally aspect of it, where you have, these amazing speakers, which is great. You're one of them. You're going to push us out of our comfort zone, which I love. But it is sitting with your peers, talking about what they're doing, the challenges they're experiencing, the wins they're having, and how you can take some of that back and implement it in your business. It's great, man.
It is great. So I got to show this. So this is actually where you guys can come and register. We have put the link below. If you guys want to come spend some time with us, we would love to, Dustin and I. And look at this lineup. You got Barry Hebeam, you got Amy Cuddy, you got Elliot Eisenman. There's so many incredible. Rory and AJ Vaden are probably some of my favorite people. Rory, they own Brand Builders Group. I was part of their coaching platform for years. These guys are brilliant when it comes to brand. And AJ and I are actually building off one another. We're actually talking about brand. You got Megan Anderson, Jeff Zimper. I mean, this lineup is just absolutely incredible, and I'm humbled. I'm honored to be there. But like you said, probably more important than anything, Dustin, is the collaboration. These now in-person events, it's so much fun to be together, share strategies, and then actually take like actionable items. Like, okay, now we've talked about it, let's implement it. And that's a lot of what I'm focusing on that I'm talking about is hey, when it comes to brand, where does that start and where does it take? What does it take to start executing on that and start making that happen? Because again, 2020 was a great year for so many people. 2021 has been phenomenal. Going into 2022, things are shifting, things are evolving. You have to start thinking about what's next in your business, your brands, strategies with growth, everything. So that's why this is so relevant. And the timing literally couldn't be more perfect, Dustin.
And when you talk about the shift in the business and what's next for your business, we always do an amazing job of kind of, here's the current landscape, here's what we see, but it's more than that. Now it's about adoption of new technologies for our company and what we're going to do for the future. Speed's the name of the game now. It is no longer point of sale and all these other cool little things that were kind of unique a few years ago. No, it's just the rules of the game. You've got to adopt. If you're still on the sideline, you got to get going. And then it's also client experience. If you leverage the technologies the right way and you're the local market expert, you can still beat the big guys hands down. You're going to all day long. So that's a big part of it. Strategies around, this was one that I'm excited to talk about the group. It's really about intentional business planning, intentional life planning. Those are things that, like, the minute I implemented them in my life as a young man, things started to change. You got to be deliberate about this stuff. And so getting, as many of our loan officers and branch managers to take that step with business planning, life planning, having that roadmap to success, like, that's my jam, man.
That's your jam. That's your goal. And I am the exact same way. And what gets me excited about, like you said, not only the collaboration, but when you come down and you actually get to discuss and you get to share these ideas and you get to see people who've already implemented and seen success from them, that's what gets me stoked. That's what really gets me just pumped up and jazzed. And I think American Pacific Mortgage has brought so many great people together. And this is a big event. There's going to be so many people here. And again, the opportunities are limitless when it comes to having those conversations. Some of these people, I've heard from them time and time again, but every time I hear from them, they know where the industry is moving and where it's evolving as well. So everybody who's speaking to us understands that you need to know what's next, that you need to know where, if you want to take it to the next level, you have to be discussing these things. You have to be at the events like this.
The thing about these events, right, whether it's our symposium or some sort of personal growth event or business event that you attend, you always, and just like the MBA, you need to be looking for a handful of ideas or concepts that excite you, that speak to you and how you want to implement them in your business. And then you need to go back and do it. If you're expecting somebody to hand you the blueprint to success at one of these, you're probably going to be a little bit like, okay, that's not the roadmap, right? It's like, look for a couple key takeaways and go back and get them going in your business. That's what you should expect these things. So,
and that's what is going to go down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what goes down in all of these, right? I wouldn't be where I'm at today without the symposiums that I've been to over the years. It's, iron sharpens iron. And when you're in there with a bunch of great branch managers and loan officers, like, you level up your game. For sure.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Well, you wanted to kind of flip the script a little bit. So this isn't very often that people are like, hey, I want to flip it. I want to kind of throw it back this way. So I'm going to let you flip the script for a few minutes. So I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah. For me, it's, what made you get into this space? Why did you want to transition into this space?
It was really interesting because I had been in the social media. I've been in the opportunity or the place of building my brand on social for years prior. People always think that, like, oh, when I started Shred, that's when I got into it. No, I've been building, like, I use Facebook. My very first deal, I kid you not, this is back in like 2010 when I got into business, is my first deal I got came from Facebook, a post that I made on Facebook. And so I'm like, right then I was like, this is interesting. And that's how I use I use social to grow my brand. When I was the outdoor LO, many of my Utah family knows all about, like, I was the outdoor LO. If you were outdoors, if you were biking, hiking, fishing, if you were outdoors, I was your guy. If you ever had a mortgage related question, I was your dude. So a couple of years ago, when I saw our industry in particular, we were kind of stagnated, especially your companies, your big lenders, bankers, and even top producers. They were stuck in the old ways of doing business, of going and shaking hands and kissing babies with realtor partners. And I'm just like, you know what? That's still great. There's still some opportunity for that. But what if you could leverage your time? We all talk about that. We never have enough time. I don't have enough time for this. What if you could actually connect with your audience? What if you could actually build a brand via social media and you could do it in a way that was impactful? So I'm just like, you know what? I've already done it. I enjoy doing this. I love this type of medium. I think it going back to what you said a minute ago, it allows us to compete with those really big companies that can spend millions and millions of dollars in marketing and branding. We can't go there. This at least gives us the opportunity to get close. And that's what got me really excited about getting into this space.
That's awesome, man. And you're right. It levels the playing field. These mediums have leveled the playing field for us to be able to create content and a personalized brand against the big boys. So I love it. I got to ask, because I know we had a little sidebar on this down in San Diego, but Shred, I'm sure people know, but I mean, like for me, that was like, okay, one, I'm a hat collector. I got to get a hat.
Yes. I'm bringing you one. Okay. Game on.
Okay, I need a hat.
Okay.
Lay it on me, Shred. Where'd it come from?
Dude. So it's really funny. I have a terrible habit of buying. It's not a habit. It's kind of almost an addiction. I have an addiction to buying URLs, like a really bad addiction to buying URLs. I have a couple hundred URLs, and I just like, if I'll see something and I'll buy it and I'll think about, I'm like, oh, one day I'll probably use this. But Shred, I come from a snowboarding background. I grew up skiing. My dad, growing up in the mountains of Utah, I started skiing when I was a little kid. I made the transition to snowboarding when I was about 12. And I do both. I go back and forth, but I prefer snowboarding. And it was, that was it. We Shred. I grew up skateboarding and all that. So years ago, I came up with the name Shred Media. I knew it was around. I'd kind of kicked it around. I actually didn't own shredmedia.com at the time. I owned shredmedia.io. Which was, anybody in tech knows what that's. I had that because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll turn it into a media brand someday. I actually thought I was going to turn it into like an outdoor snowboarding brand. I kicked around some other ideas with anybody who knows Brigade Wake Surfing. Shout out to my good buddies at Brigade Wake Surf. They were a surfing company. We thought about that's the way we'd go. But funny enough, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when I was talking about media ideas within the space, I wanted to be edgy, dude. I wanted to be recognized. And I've kind of done that. NBA, again, you saw me, I wear this. And what was cool this year is less people were wearing ties. People were dressed down. They weren't quite this dressed down by any means, but it's become part of my brand, who I am. And it's not that I do it to be disrespectful or irreverent, because I've got that in the past. I do it because this is it. I love wearing a hat. I love wearing a t-shirt. And I can still be professional in that way. So Shred came from like an old idea of starting an outdoor brand. And I'm just like, we were sitting around, and show up, hustle, repeat every day literally came like, it was like an inspirational moment. I'm like, what's it like? Is there an acronym we could throw around for Shred? Like, because Shred Media, it just doesn't connect. But then I'm like, show up, hustle, repeat every day. And I was sitting in a room with a couple of people. They're like, that's it. That's the name of Shred. So that's where Shred came from.
I love it. And you know what? I'm probably going to join you next year. T-shirt, flat brim, NBA.
Yes. It's going down. You're going to have the APM on. You're going to have something on. I love it.
You're being authentic, man. And that's what people really want. You're staying true to who you are, and you are a professional, and, knowledge and the ability to help people perform does not come in a clean package with a suit and tie. There is a time and a place. I believe that. And I'll get suited and booted with the best of them. But sometimes you just got to be authentic and be you. And I prefer more of that than the alternative. So, love that. What's your message for LOs around branding? I know we're going to talk a little bit about the symposium. Can you give us a little teaser?
I'm going to give everybody a little tease. Your brand is different than branding. Your brand is who you are. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's after you've closed the transaction. It's that relationship, that trust, that confidence. That is your brand. So many people overthink the brand is like a slogan, a logo, something like that. That's branding. And they're two very, very separate things. So what I'm going to be really getting into, I'm actually going to be getting into more of the nuts and bolts, like what it actually takes to start a brand using social media, the implementation tools from cameras to microphones to I'm going to go very, very almost like structure wise of like fundamentals, what you need to be starting with. And a lot of that's going to shock you. But when it comes to your brand, all of you originators out there, the key thing is, like I said, number one, your brand is who you are. But number two, those who take it seriously right now are the ones who will win. We are seeing a monumental shift in the space of our industry with tech companies on the rise. You are competing with tech companies. You are competing with the big box companies. And unless you start to differentiate yourself through your brand, who you are, the hat, whatever your passions are outside, guys, I know you think you're passionate about mortgage, but let's just be honest. Your friends aren't passionate about mortgage. They don't care. They hang out with you because like they enjoy you. Maybe because you like to go surfing on the weekends or hang out on the beach or your friends hang out with you because of who you are. That's the brand you really need to be sharing with your audience. As you start to do that, like you said, that levels the playing field.
Yeah, I think, I watched a previous podcast of yours and somebody was making reference to, I don't work to live, I live to work, right? Yeah. Or vice versa. Right. And it's kind of for me, it's, work hard, play hard. I always have the mortgage is the vehicle that we've been given to build our professional identity, but that's definitely not, that's not me, right? Like that's not who I am 24/7. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I got more hobbies than I can count. and we're going snowboarding right in February. I'm pretty sure
it's going down. Yep.
I think that personalized branding is what people want to connect with too.
Yeah.
So, you have to be knowledgeable. You have to be a pro at your craft, but you can still be you. And
Dude, you have to be you. If you're not you, people have this, I like to call it the BS meter. They can see through it really, really quick. If you're being somebody who's the word authentic and genuine is thrown around so much these days, but if you're not the real you, your friends know that. Like your friends know when you're showing up as like somebody else. They see through it very quickly. Your audience will too. And plus, if you try to build this persona that you are not, like you got to keep it up like forever and ever. And it's just, it gets taxing in it. I've seen people try to do it. I'm just telling you, just be you. And again, if people don't connect with that, that's okay. That literally, like, you have to understand that if people aren't connecting with you and who you are, there are millions, hundreds of millions of people in this world that you can still connect with. So don't worry about the few that don't connect with you.
Yeah, get in where you fit in, right?
Yeah, that's literally it, dude. That simple mindset right there that you just said, Dustin. LOs, originators, mortgage advisors, whatever you want to call you out there. If you start to understand that, that will change the game for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for letting me flip the script a little bit. I mean,
that was fun.
Brand is always, I love branding. I love marketing. I love the way you push us to get out of our comfort zones. I'm a firm believer in that too. I think the best place you can be is kind of in a permanent state of a little discomfort when it comes to how you're showing up in your life. And I think that makes us all better. And so
100%.
I'm excited to have you get that room full of 1,000 people all fired up and get them outside of their comfort zone a little bit and push them for that next level.
Dude, you know me, I'm all about getting people outside of it. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, especially in this new day and age. And we're going to be talking a lot about that at the upcoming Next Sales Symposium. So here it is, guys. Again, if you want the information, like I said, I have tagged it below. So it's November 3rd and 4th down in the Arizona Grand Resort. And you got, again, right now, you can register for this. This is still open registration. Go do it. Come hang out with me. Come hang out with Dustin. Come hang out with the best of the best in the industry. You see this lineup of speakers, but this is just a few of them. You're going to hear from so many incredible people from the American Pacific Mortgage Group as well. And again, this is an opportunity to surround yourself with incredible leaders, people who have the same mindset as you going into this new year, and they want to take their business to the next level, and so can you. So it's going to be a ton of fun. I'm excited to go shred with Dustin. I'm excited to shred with the entire American Pacific Mortgage Group. It's going to be a ton of fun. Dustin, looking forward to hanging out with you there, brother.
Yeah, buddy. That's well said, and I'm excited about the future and what we're going to bring to the table at the event, man. This is going to be a blast. I appreciate you and everything you do. Looking forward to that hat. Let's go shred, brother.
I say we're going to go shred, guys, with it. Not a better way to end the show right there. I'm excited. Again, click on the link below. We look forward to seeing you guys down in Arizona on November 3rd and 4th. Dustin and I are going to be shredding with the entire American Pacific Mortgage family. It's going to be a ton of fun. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for all of you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See ya.